It's WhoelsebutCoop, and welcome to my review of the Marvel Spider-Man Homecoming Iron Man Mark 47 die-cast 1/6 scale collectible figure from Hot Toys. Whew, that's a mouthful. I actually won this figure from Sideshow Collectibles through their Halloween Sideshow Spectacular contest that they throw every October. And now, this video is not sponsored by Sideshow, but I do recommend checking out their social media pages as they do give away a lot of stuff, including stuff like this guy right here that I got graciously from them. So a huge thank you to Sideshow. Once again, not sponsored, just a fan, and let's go ahead and check out the figure itself. A brief look at the packaging. You got Iron Man right here in the front with the silhouette of the spider in the background showing off New York City. Spider-Man Homecoming Iron Man Mark 47 1/6 scale collectible figure. It is die cast. Got information on the figure on the side, just saying what it is. You got the cast and crew of the people that sculpted the figure and created it. You can always pause and take a look at that. Some legal stuff down here, little spider right there in the corner. More of the detailing on the side, same as the other side. I like the spiders that are making up like a little border. I thought that's a cool little design. The way these work is that you take off the top. Let's do that. Iron Man Mark 47. And that's where you open it up on the inside to find the figure. Before we take a look at the figure itself, let's take a look at all the accessories that come with this figure. Some of these accessories we'll take a closer look at later in this video. However, I just want to make sure we know exactly what's included with this figure. First off, we have 3 heads over here. One plain Tony Stark head, another open empty shell head that you see in the film when Tony Stark is piloting the drone, as well as a light up regular helmet that is all interchangeable with the figure. We also have some Tony Stark sunglasses that are you can attach to the actual head sculpt itself, as well as the collar of when in Civil War, when has his head showing, the helmet kind of retracts to the back of his neck. Looks like it's the same situation right here. The shoulder pieces right here that are actually interchangeable with the regular ones. I'm not entirely sure what this is, but it looks like a panel's open. But these are removable and magnetic. So if you want to display it like this, let's turn it this way. Yep, you're more than welcome to. We also have 2 of these missile firing panels right here, one for each arm. As you can see right here, with this one, already have it interchanged, just so you can get a sense of what that looks like. That it's also magnetic, where you can switch out with the regular panel, just like that, in an instant. See, there we go. We have 2 of these repulsor blast flight stabilizer hands. I have this one interchanged with the right arm on the figure. Nice little blast right there with the back details, curved edge so you can have him posed with his palm upwards. 2 of these blast off pegs that actually just peg onto Iron Man's feet. You can get both of them just like that to make Iron Man look like he's flying. Look at that magic, woo! Other hand accessories that we have are regular blaster hands that light up when you plug them into the figure. These ones light up as well, but these ones actually don't have the blaster effect, so you can get some nice poses out of that one. We got them regular fisted hands, and as well as these articulated Iron Man hands that Hot Toys are so famous for, where you can do little cool poses like this. Quick look at the base. We have the Spider-Man Homecoming design right there. It looks like we have like a little repulsor thing going on, as well as there's a bit of texture if you can hear that. Some tech designs, some webs going on right here. Right here we got Iron Man Tony Stark. On the bottom, it's just plastic, by the way. These are pretty generic with the Marvel figures that Hot Toys makes. And you got the little cradle right here to hold the figure. Before I put the cradle in, actually, let's take a look at the other accessories right here. Now, this is exclusive to the Spider-Man Homecoming set, as this is used in the movie. This is the mini repulsor deployer right here, as it's listed on the Hot Toys website. Lots of cool detail on this guy right here. Got the little gold details. There's so much detail on these Hot Toys figures and accessories that, like, when this came on the movie, it was like barely there for a second. So it's kind of cool to get an up close look at what it actually looks like. We got these little trails of fire. They just actually plug into this right here. They can go like any way, but you just plug it into these little parts right here. It goes in pretty snug. It can be loose if you mess with it too much. And also, just to add, it kind of hurts to push it in, as these are really spiky. This isn't like a flexible plastic. This is actually pretty sturdy. So be careful when doing that, when plugging it in. Can hurt. Just make sure to grab it in the right areas, as well as these mini repulsors right here. Let's cool detail. It's articulated, and you just peg this part into it, and it appears like it's firing like so. Now let's go ahead and attach this to the base as you saw it in the beginning of the video. First off, you want to get this piece right here, peg it in just like that. There we go. Attach the joint right here, and then you got the flexible cable just to plug it in just like that. Sorry, it's taking a moment. It's really sturdy, so you can get a lot of dynamic poses out of this. The only thing you have to worry about are these blaster parts falling over, in which you just have to just plug it back in. There you go. You put the cradle in just like that. Plugs in just nicely. So you can get a lot of dynamic poses with this thing. Gives it a nice 3D effect. I'm really happy they included this with this. When I first saw the promo pictures, I thought this would be kind of a lame accessory, but I really think it adds a lot to the figure, as you saw in the beginning of the video. So it's really cool. Just, yeah. Now to take a closer look at the head sculpts. This is the helmeted head right here. That's just the standard Iron Man head. Cool feature about this, you have the batteries plugged in here, and you can turn it on just like that in an instant, and it magnetizes just back on. Really cool feature. Those who may wonder if this is the same as Captain America's Civil War Mark 46 Hot Toys head, well, you can see that this is a lighter gold compared to a darker gold on the regular Iron Man Civil War version, as you can see in my left hand right here. So I like the color choices on this. It's just a little bit different as to the Mark 47, as said before, is a different paint scheme of the Mark 46 armor. Still looks really cool, really dig it. Lots of metallic finish like that. Now the other head sculpt, the empty head head sculpt, this is actually where I come with one of my biggest gripes of the figure. At least for mine, the magnets that are supposed to be on top of here to hold Tony's visor, well, as you can see, they're in my hand. They actually came off. These should have been glued in, but Hot Toys is notorious for having bad glue with their magnets. So it was unfortunate to actually open this up and find that the magnets were actually separate. The cool thing is, though, is that this is still remarkably detailed. Hold on, let me get a light over here just so we can see the inner workings of this phenomenal head sculpt. They did so much detail on the inside. It's really cool. You got that earpiece right there. Hot Toys just does such a wonderful job with the minor details on here, including the visor right here. This is just the regular visor. You can still snap it on just like that, and it works okay, but I don't see why anyone would do that when they have the regular head sculpt. This is all plastic, by the way, the head. But even the inside of the visor has a lot of detail going on, so I think that's cool. There's the two magnets up there, so it's supposed to go like that, but you can't really do that. But really, I'm not going to fuss it because I wasn't really planning on using this head anyway, but still unfortunate, really. On to my favorite part of this figure, and the head sculpt I'm actually going to be using on my collection, is this amazing Robert Downey Jr. portrait right here. This is phenomenal. This is Robert Downey Jr. I say to myself when I open the package, I'm like, oh my god, it's Robert Downey Jr. to quote Tom Holland. But this is amazing. You got all those individual pores right here. Hot Toys has always been known for just fantastic work, but this might be my favorite Tony Stark head sculpt, or any Hot Toys head sculpt for that matter. I think it's just absolutely incredible and incredibly detailed. I think this was worth getting the Spider-Man Homecoming Tony Stark in general, because you also have the Civil War Iron Man right here. This is from the Civil War set. As you can see, he has the black eye going on, which this is essentially the same sculpt, I believe, just different paint jobs. But I think there's a little bit more to this one. I might be, a bit blind by that, but I feel like this one just has a bit of a step up compared to this one. This one has more life to it than this one. This one looks more plasticky, but honestly, they're both really good head sculpts. I just have a preference for the clean looking Tony Stark head. Also includes the sunglasses. You can put on the head just like that. Let's go ahead and put that on. These are really flimsy plastic, so you don't want to break that right there. And even that looks super cool. Look at that. Put the collar on. There we go. That's one fly guy right there. And now's the part of the video where we take a look at the figure itself. Oh my goodness, guys, it's so beautiful. I had to break out the Lazy Susan on this one to do a full turnaround of this figure. There's a lot of people that actually don't care for the paint scheme of this armor. I really do like it. It's very reminiscent of the Ultimate Iron Man comics. really enjoy it actually in the way it looked in the movie, and this Hot Toys figure is no exception to that. As you can see, there's a lot of little scuffs on the front of the armor right here, kind of gives it a more realistic and worn look, which is absolutely fine with me. I think it just adds that layer of realism to the 1/6 scale collectible figure, and it's so shiny metallic. I love it. It's almost reflective. It's not too reflective or shiny to make it look like a mirror or anything like that, but man, it just gives that nice metal look, which it is actual die-cast metal, so that adds to how good this looks. From the feet up, let's go ahead and do this little turn around right here. All that intricate detail in the sculpt, the paint, absolutely incredible. These little repulsors that light up, you'll see later in the video. The shoulder, the head, little neck right there. My goodness, that Iron Man booty right there. Back. So look at that. The joints are even detailed too. Amazing. Absolutely spectacular. Props to Hot Toys for the detail of this incredible piece right here. These are really small, so make sure to use these tweezers. This is a lifesaver. Do not lose these. These help out big time. You also have this instruction manual that will show you which batteries go in which part. Make sure to read this thoroughly so you don't break your figure, because there are a lot of light up features on this figure. Do not want to miss out on that, as well as a small screwdriver. I've been fighting this one for a while and it just will not come out for the life of me. This is the worst part. Oh great, now it fell in there. It's like playing that board game Operation, except not nearly as fun and upsetting. Wait, oh my god. Now even all those battery compartments also have a switch by them. All of them do. So if you go ahead and turn it on, that's how you get the Frontron, such as this. Each hand peg is also a repulsor light, as you can see. That way when you put on a hand, you get the repulsor to light up. It's also worth noting that if you use the flight stabilizer or repulsor hand just like this, it'll light up as well in the dark. Alright guys, let's give you a little bit of a look. After all that hard work of installing all those batteries and putting the pieces back on, let's give you a look with the lights dimmed to see all the lights. And man, that is so cool. So many individual lights on this thing. You got them in the repulsors, obviously, the head, all these little miniature lights that are on the bottom right here. You got some on the leg, the arms, all the way going all the way down. My goodness, so many on the back as well. Just in parts that they didn't even need to do, but they did anyway. It's unbelievable how Hot Toys can achieve such an awesome thing and still be able to incorporate all the detail and articulation that they put in their figures. See, this is just the shoulder piece and it has batteries in it. Incredibly cool. Let's go for an action pose right here with these lights on. Man, that is so unbelievably cool. And just for fun, the same pose, but with the Tony Stark head. I was able to get Iron Man into a fight pose using the Mark 46 stand from Civil War. Not included with this figure. And it just looks amazing. Now, I don't advise to actually get him into a flight pose and keep him there, because that's not very sturdy. I'm taking a risk doing this, but I just want to show you guys how beautiful, absolutely gorgeous this is. For the remainder of this video, though, I'm just going to switch out the head, though, because I really like it with the Tony Stark head, actually even more. But to quickly show off the articulation, the head can go up and down just like that, so you can get it in a nice flight pose right there. Swivels all the way around, just like that. Doesn't hinder the light or anything like that. Arm goes out that much. See that? You can turn it more so it can go out in front, but I don't want to fuss with it too much. It is die cast after all, so you don't want to fight with that or break anything. The shoulder also moves along with it. It's very flexible in that sense. It seems like kind of just jumps back into place like there's a spring in it. You can pull out the shoulders right here. See, it pops out just like that. It's kind of on a joint. Let me do that again just so you can see. Pops out. See? Now you can get full posing out of that shoulder right here to get whatever you like. And then when you just want it back in a museum pose, pop it right in just like that. Same thing on the other arm, same articulation. Has 2 bends at the elbow, right there, 2 joints, as well it rotates all the way around on the wrist. Cool thing, it has all these different panels that actually move just so you can get full posability out of this guy. You can do the ab crunch just like that much. Another additional feature right here, you can actually pull the upper waist right here, just give it a nice pull, and you get even more posing out of that. They advise you not to mess with it too much as it can break the figure. However, if you want to get some really more dynamic poses, really more, that works. More panel action. Leg can go out that much, swivel about that much, get a nice high kick out there. It's also double jointed, so if you the leg can go out that much and go to the side that much, and you can even pull the leg down. As you can see, there's like a little ratchet joint like there, like on SH Figure Arts figures, where it can go down and get even more leverage out of that. These panels just move out of the way. 2 bends in the knee and the foot. See, it has those panels that pop out right there. My goodness, Hot Toys just thinks of everything, as long as side to side movement to get some nice dynamic stuff out of that. So you'll be happy to know that these back flaps actually do open. Got one right here, on the other side as well as these little parts on the upper shoulder right here. If I can get it, there we go. See, there's inner detail on the inside, as you can see. Super cool. Under the flaps too, got those little shapes, texture. Put them back down when you're ready, so you can use those with flying poses or whatever you'd like. I'm gonna switch out the head now, as I said I was going to do before. Just to let you know, the head also pops off this joint right here, but when removing the head, I find it easier to have both parts on and just pull upwards like that. There you go, reveals that inner joint. To put on the Tony Stark head, make sure to get that collar, as I've talked about before. Just slides into a peg right there. Got that cool little look on the back, and now I got Tony to plug in like so. As far as height goes, he comes in about 13 inches tall about. Size comparison with the Captain America Civil War Iron Man Mark 46. They're essentially the same figure, just with a different paint scheme, as I've said multiple times in this video. The only difference is that this one has the unmasked head on, and the hair might be a little bit taller than this guy right here, but really they're both great figures. But if I had to choose between the two, because I know someone's going to ask that, I'd have to say the Captain America Civil War version is better. I do like the base that comes with the Civil War version better, as it's detailed and it has the flexible grabber right there to hold the figure, whereas this one just comes with the standard crotch cradle, as they like to call it. I don't care for the crotch cradle for die-cast figures. They're heavy. I forgot to mention how heavy both these figures are heavy, but you know, they're heavy figures, so I don't think this really does the job too well. But it looks nice at least. Here he is compared with the Captain America Civil War Captain America figure and the Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man right here. I want to include the Spider-Man one. This might be the same height as the Tom Holland Hot Toys Spider-Man coming out. I do have both on pre-order, both the homemade suit and the Stark Tech suit on pre-order, so those reviews will come out as I get them. But for the time being, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man will stand in place. So I think the height is pretty good. And here he is compared to some 6-inch Marvel Legends figures. We have the Spider-Man Homecoming Spider-Man right here, and the Captain America Civil War Iron Man figure from the Spider-Man 3-pack that came out last year. Alright, one last post for you guys before I completely lose my voice. I've been sick over the past couple days, so please don't mind my gross sounding voice. Anyway, Hot Toys just truly delivers again with such an amazing piece. So beautiful, so fun to pose around. Definitely one of the highlights of my collection. And thank you so much, Sideshow Collectibles, for letting me win this guy. Please make sure to follow them on their social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They hold giveaways every now and again, weekly live shows, and more. Once again, I'm not sponsored by them. I just highly recommend them. They're great people over there and a great company. I also have some things on pre-ordered, such as the other Spider-Man Homecoming figures of both Spider-Man, as well as the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Star-Lord coming on the way. I'll be doing a review of that guy pretty soon here. Make sure to follow for some Star Wars content coming up in the release of Star Wars The Last Jedi next week, such as Kylo Ren's lightsaber from Disney Parks, as well as the review of the movie itself. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I also have my Lego Advent Calendar series going on right now from Star Wars. So please subscribe. I'm going to leave with that. And Tony Stark right here saying adieu.